I'm here with Mark Carpenter, the brewmaster here at the legendary Anchor Brewing in San Francisco. We're here for the release party of new beer you brewed for San Francisco Brewery. Can you tell me about it, Mark?
Yeah, it's the name is Brekle's Brown Ale, and the main impetus for it is I had run across a hop, a Citra hop, that was developed by a person I knew and developed for aroma, which is unusual. Most hops are developed for disease resistance or for bittering value, but not for aroma. Whatever the aroma is, that's what it turns out. But this was developed for aroma. And one of the guys that developed it, Gene Probasco, told me about it, and he got me a little sample, and we ran a couple little tests, and we liked it. So then it was just a matter of picking what kind of beer do we make to showcase this hop. And I went back to an old recipe that we had for a brown ale that we did in around 1986 that I really liked for its maltiness, and I thought it would be nice for the hop. So we tried it, and I think we hit it pretty much the first time. That I think it's a nice balance, very malty flavor, about 6% alcohol. It's not like light alcohol, but it's not really following the trend of releasing giant beers, very highly hopped and very high in alcohol. We're trying to make a nice drinkable beer, and that's where we think we've done. Now the big test comes. Will the customers buy it?
Oh, you know they will. It's nutty and delicious, and it'll sell itself.
I hope so. Thank you very much.
It's a very nice beer, especially for your first try. It's amazing.
Well, thank you very much.
Brooks, what do you think of the Brekle's Brown you got in your hand?
It's a really nice beer. I'm surprised that it doesn't taste 6%, which is what it is. Really nice and malty sweet, nutty. I think it's another winner, but not a surprise. Anchor doesn't really make any bad beers I've had. So, but it's nice to see Mark was talking about the beer. It only uses one hop, just Citra, which is a growing popular new hop, and seems to work to good advantage in the brown. It's very nice.
So the only place that I ever saw this event written down anywhere was on the Brookston Beer Bulletin.
Is that right?
Why do you know everything?
I've just been doing it long enough that I'm lucky enough that people reach out to me when they're doing stuff.
That's where the fermenters were. And you can see by the old maps, those old blueprints of the brewery, that's where they actually fermented the beer. They had it up on the roof, open to the atmosphere, which was the ambient temperature.
I'm here with Jane and Louise. We're here in the fermenting room at Anchor Brewing. And we're here because Anchor brewed some Brekle's Brown. And you have a special relationship with Mr. Brekle's, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Who was he?
He was my great-grandfather.
Yeah. And did you have any experiences growing up in a beer family, or was it before your time?
My grandfather used to make beer in his garage.
Home brewer.
Yes.
Yeah, did you ever get to drink any?
I just like the foam.
I guess that's why we're doing an interview in the fermenting room, right?
Yes, exactly.
And Louise, you grew up on Potrero Hill, right?
I sure did, a few blocks from here.
Now, I heard you have an interesting background visiting what used to be the Anchor Brewery.
On 17th in Kansas.
Oh, yeah, I hear that's a brick building that's still standing.
The red brick building, yeah, it still stands there, and I think it belongs to Decorator Showcase now.
Yeah, and do you remember did you just go there with your dad, or did you get to drink some beer while you were there?
Well, not I, but every Saturday was free beer.
Free beer, huh?
My father and his friend, and they're his two twins, and myself, we still get together, the twins and I. And we used to go to Crystal Palace Market to do weekly shopping, and then stop over at the brewery there. They'd have free beer, and we'd be running around and climbing up the ladders, what have you.
And how were the crowds? I imagine if they gave away free beer, it was pretty jam-packed.
Well, I wouldn't know about the beer part because we didn't drink any of that, but the fellas enjoyed it, the men.
Yeah, I'm sure they did. Well, thank you, ladies, and I'm very happy to see both of you guys here and drinking beer and hanging out with everybody. How was the experience of seeing your great-great-granddad's name on a beer brewed in 2011?
Well, it's really thrilling and unexpected, and I'm very happy and proud of it.
This is the, correct me if I'm wrong, 140th anniversary of Anchor.
Correct.
Yeah.
And the name Brekles comes from the fact that our brewery was originally owned by a man named Brekle. And so we're reaching back in time and saluting all the brewmasters from Anchor, which more recently included Fritz Maytag, the man I learned to brew from.
I'm sorry, I don't know who that is.
Yeah. I started with Fritz in 1971, and it was an unbelievable environment for learning how to make beer. And Fritz was so creative. I mean, you know all the beers that we've done here that are firsts of their varieties. And so my biggest challenge now is to somehow try to tap into that creativity and keep Anchor going in the vein that Fritz developed.
How does it feel to be following in the footsteps of such a legendary brewer at a legendary brewery?
Well, I tell you, I don't even really try to put myself over that level. I just have to do the best I can. And I just am very thankful that I had so many years working closely with Fritz. I mean, without that, I couldn't even come close to doing this job. But because all the time spent with him over those years, it's now been, I've worked with him 39 years. So it was, I'm a slow learner, but give me 39 years, I'll learn something.